Hearing that, the meeting is called to order. So the first thing on our agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes from September 12th. And does anyone have any questions or comments about that, having had an opportunity to look them over?
First, though, I need to know who is recording.
I am Charlotte.
Thank you. I thought that would be you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, member persons.
Okay, that being said, could we have a motion to
Move to accept the minutes of the September 12, 2022 meeting as presented.
And a second?
Second.
But, oh, okay. Trustee Ryan, I think I saw your hand first, or heard the voice. So we'll take a vote. Trustee Ryan?
Aye.
Trustee Donahue?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Trustee Persons?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So it's a unanimous vote to accept September meeting notes. Okay, next on our agenda is the director's report, which our report will be accepted as submitted. And given that, would you like to highlight anything, Charlotte?
Not particularly. I think I reported pretty much on everything, with the exception that the paving project was to end today.
Yes.
I'm assuming that it did. They did not follow the process that they had hoped to, which was the first day and the second day they would be doing the paving, and we understood that they would be putting the what are those blocks that they had, the paving blocks, and they didn't get those in at all last week. We thought they were going to be doing them on Wednesday and Thursday, I think, or Thursday and Friday. And so I'm assuming today, I don't work on Mondays, so I'm assuming today everything went fine. The staff, the library was closed. The staff were all there. We were, emailing each other all day about various other things. So I'm hoping that everything is all set, that, the public will be able to use the parking lot just the way they were before. So I'm not really sure, but I'll report to you tomorrow when I get there.
Okay.
Let you know.
Great. I was thinking of it today, and it started to rain, but that was pretty late in the afternoon. So I would hope that they had a chance to get finished today.
Yep, they were going to do the whole thing. Yep.
Okay. Any other comments or questions for Charlotte?
Can I just ask on that?
Sure.
Can you just send out an advisory email to the trustees tomorrow that if everything, either way, because if we get calls.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I will definitely tomorrow send you an update, and with any questions you asked tonight that you want me to follow up on as well.
Okay. Any other questions on the director's report? I know we're going to, have a few of the things that are in the report on our agenda, but anything that we're not coming up to in the next couple of items? Mary Beth, Trustee Persons.
Thank you. Charlotte, will you discuss the chiller later, or should I just ask my question now?
No, I won't discuss it later.
I wasn't clear on whether the new chiller had been installed.
Yep.
Or not.
It was installed. They had a process where they took the rental chiller out one day, and then they came in with a crane and they took the old chiller out and put the new chiller in. Okay. And they hooked it all up. It's just that they did not hook it up to be working for the fall, because this is the time when they normally just shut it down anyway.
I gotcha. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. The next thing on our agenda is the library facilities update, which part of that perhaps was what we were just hearing about the chiller and the parking lot. And other issues in that area, Charlotte, that we need to be made aware of or have the public be made aware of?
No, everything seems to be fine. Those were two huge projects to get finished
yes,
for,
they were.
in September and October. There is still, I don't know what is happening with the sound equipment that
Oh.
they're hoping to put in.
Yeah.
Somebody called me one day because Jim McCarthy and somebody else, they were both going to go up and look at what was done. I think it was in this, I can't remember if it was the Sudbury Library or another library. And Jim has not gone, has not told me anything different. So I haven't really heard anything.
Madam Chairperson?
Yes.
Talking about the remediation for the sound.
Yes, that's what, that's
Right.
what
I don't think that has come to fruition completely yet. I think that that's kind of something in the works.
Right.
So maybe we can get an update on that next month.
Okay.
Would that be acceptable? Trustee Fitzgerald, did you have a further
Yeah.
question on that?
Can I just ask, because I know we've had a few of the short Wednesdays already.
Yes.
I happened to go into Dunkin' Donut during one, and there was quite a crowd. And I was just wondering how things have been going with that.
Well, it started off great, and the children's librarians were very, very optimistic and the first couple days. And then it sort of got out of hand a little bit, and all of us were involved in trying to, calm everybody down because they were a little bit crazy. So it's been sort of an ebb and a flow. I think it depends on which kids are in the library. There were quite a few. I think that Starbucks closes at noon now. Partly because of the influx of students, they couldn't handle it, all the kids walking in. So they announced that they were closing at noon, and I imagine they're closed for the rest of the school year. I don't know. The librarians were telling me that that's what happened last year. They're open until 3 on the weekends, but only
Okay.
Noon every day or just noon on the short Wednesdays?
Noon every day.
Yeah. It's apparently when Charlotte put this in the report that there are, what was the number, 25 to 50 students coming in. It's every day, and I would imagine there are more than that on early Wednesday.
Yes, although last week, early Wednesday, we were closed.
Oh,
So,
okay.
it's hard to
Yeah.
know.
Do you think in part it's because it's the beginning of the school year and they've been out of the library for a while and they need to kind of relearn the appropriate library behavior?
A little bit. We did have a meeting with Danielle Sutton. So the staff, reference staff, and Abby Walsh met with Felicia and with Christy and with me about it, trying to come up with maybe some other solutions to brainstorm. But as far as Danielle was concerned, it sounded like we were doing everything we could do. One of the things that Felicia and Christy and Abby and the reference staff is walking around, constantly walking around. There have been days when the children's staff, that's all they do is walk around from 3 to 5. And getting to know the kids, trying to get to know what their names are, because some of them don't have library cards. And we don't, for any reason, we wouldn't know their names because they don't log in or anything. That's, not what we do. So that's part of the problem, is that they don't really, with the teachers, it's a little bit more, the behavior can be a little bit better. But Danielle seemed to think everybody was doing a great job, and we're going to be meeting with her. She's actually coming to our department head meeting that we're having this Thursday, and she'll be coming again. She's planning on coming as often as she can. And she was very positive about it and felt that, we were working towards, a better situation. I know it's frustrating for the adults.
Yes.
I watched an adult go over and into the room and ask them to please be quiet.
A patron.
A patron. And they feel very free. The kids feel very free coming into my office because my door is always open, coming into my office and telling me the computer isn't working or whatever. You know, part of it's the behavior, to be quite honest, part of it's the fact that COVID for 2 years, they weren't having limits set in the same way. And they
Right.
really are socializing. They're kind of behind in learning how to socialize, especially this age, this, you know, this all
Middle
happened.
school. Mhm.
Right. It all happened to them at the very end of elementary school. Those are the kids that are
Yeah.
there now. So we're working on it, but it has been more of an issue, and it started out so positive. They really felt good about it. They thought that and within days it sort of degraded. But we're doing okay.
I think they may just, well, first of all, they may just have to relearn the behavior that they've had. You know, they've had 3 or 4 months of not having to remember what library voices are and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Right.
Maybe some new children who, but it is something obviously that we need to closely monitor.
Right.
I mean, it's in some ways it's a good problem because we have kids in the library, but it's still a problem. Even though it's a good problem, it's still a problem. So
Right.
please keep us advised as to what's going on. Because
there are some mothers who have decided to, and the principal called or got in touch. I think he actually came in from the Deerfield School to warn us that there were mothers who were planning on their kids walking over to the library from the elementary school every day. We haven't seen, I don't think we've seen the numbers that he had spoken about. He said about 20 kids would always be coming in. But I think some of the parents came in the first couple of days of that and didn't understand what you know, that they have a lot of freedom in the library. It's not like school where they have a teacher, you know, with them.
Right.
So we haven't seen the numbers.
So when the principal came in, I'm just curious, he was just letting you know that there were students from the Deerfield who were going to be coming every day and to a particular program, or just to come to the library?
Just come to the library and be picked up by the parents later.
Instead of being picked up at school.
Right.
And so what was the average age of that group?
I'm not really quite sure. I can definitely ask Christy tomorrow morning. The numbers just weren't there just weren't the same numbers as the principal had warned about, which was 20. And I think there was a lot of mixing. It might have been, you know, older elementary and middle schoolers.
Okay.
And we don't really see it as a problem, but I'll let you know, and I'll check. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And I'm just curious.
Again.
We do have something about age and supervision by it.
Oh yeah,
What's the age on that? I've forgotten.
It's 9.
Does anybody know? It's 9.
It was 8 at one point. It's now 9. A lot of libraries have 10.
Right.
You know, there's
libraries
are just all different in what they.
And so that's why I was asking. So your average 9-year-old is a 4th grader. So anybody who would be younger than that wouldn't be
coming.
Hopefully being encouraged to come to the library on their own after school to wait to be picked up.
By the oldest 3rd grader nowadays, Maureen.
9, I know.
Yeah.
But some of them could be in 4th grade.
They weren't 1st and 2nd graders, parents who were.
Or even 3rd graders. They should be.
They were the older of the.
Okay, that was why I asked, because you know.
But
so
the children's staff really appreciated the fact that the principal had come over.
That's good. Trustee Persons, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Charlotte, I do have a question. You mentioned an adult coming into your office. Have we had many complaints from adult patrons? Or
No. The middle schoolers come in my office.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant adult patrons coming into your office.
They feel very free coming around the corner and telling me what's going on which is fine. You know, if I can't handle it, if I need help with it, you know, Felicia's somewhere around, and Abby and the rest of the reference staff, and There were some computer issues they were frustrated about, and they needed help with it. And I wasn't quite sure what their procedure was, but it is kind of funny that they, they're very, they're very comfortable just walking in and demanding that I do whatever.
Have you had any complaints, or do you know that have the librarians gotten complaints from patrons?
I have not heard that they've gotten complaints, but I did see, I was standing in my doorway, because the noise level had gotten kind of higher, and I saw an adult come. He was just entering the YA room, asking them to please be quiet.
I'd like to suggest perhaps that we request that the librarians keep track of the amount of adult complaints or patron complaints based
Okay.
upon the youth attendance. Because if we don't really know, if there's one once in a while, okay, but if there's, 7 in a day and we're not aware of that, and there's 7 every day, then we need to probably discuss something different. So, if they
They haven't, right, other than, if I may, other than sort of the noise, there haven't been any other issues. I mean, in the past, we've had fights and,
Well, they
it's
can
being,
get loud, and and they can get loud and yell at each other, and there have been times I was in the stacks looking for a book, and there were 2 running around. One had taken another's iPad, and I was just standing there kind of trying to figure out what was going on when Felicia had already come over to. So it is, it's a behavior issue that begins probably every year. Can also be the dynamic of the class. So that's what we saw in Norwood, was a lot of one class was worse than another. So, we
just
and
please,
if you build it, they will come. And I think that's very true, that it is for them, that a lot of this space was.
Yes. As we've said in the past, it's like a good problem to have, because they're coming to the library, but we just have to manage it in a way that is comfortable for all the patrons in the library. So I think that's a good suggestion, to kind of keep track and see what the level of complaint is.
Okay.
Maria, did you have something?
Yes, I just had a question about, you were saying the children's librarians, but this is basically in the 2nd floor around the young adult room and so on and so forth. Okay, I didn't think it was the children's room, but.
It isn't, but it's the entire children's staff, the reference staff, and the circulation staff. We're all trying really hard to make sure that they know of the adult presence in the library and where we are, and that we're watching.
Okay.
I was in the book room one day, I think it was last spring, and kids were playing tag. And I just stepped out of the room and I said, if you don't mind, this is the library and people are here working. So if you could just perhaps walk and maybe lower your voices. And they did right away.
Yeah. It's the presence that has to be there. So everyone's joined forces in the afternoon from 3 to 5.
Please thank the staff for us for making that effort.
all hands on deck, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so anything else on that issue? No. Okay, I wanted to thank you, Charlotte, for taking care of that request for reconsideration for that we discussed at the last meeting in terms of content and so forth, and making it available to the staff when needed. Thank you, that was appreciated. And so there's one other thing I was going to bring up. Okay, well, I guess it will come up in this next issue. The next issue on our agenda is the Islington Branch Library. And I guess I just wanted to say I did attend the dedication, and I would like to thank Trustee Persons for speaking on our behalf. She did an outstanding job. I can't tell you how, it was really terrific. I said, it should be printed somewhere. She did such a good job. And, it was a very nice ceremony. Other people spoke as well. And then the reception inside was also very nice, and people, you know, a lot of them had already been there and so forth, but I think people were also quite impressed, not with just the upstairs, but with the work that's been downstairs. It's terrific. It makes a world of difference, I think, for use down in the lower level. So it was a nice little ceremony, I thought. Appreciated by the staff too. They mingled and, you know, talked to a lot of people, and people who had not necessarily seen the whole building and so forth, got to have a good chance to look and talk to others about it. Mary Beth, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, thank you. That was very nice of you. Yeah, it was very, very nicely done. The town did a wonderful job. One thing I always wanted to point out to you guys, if you have been there and you haven't noticed it, or if you haven't gotten a chance to be there yet, the quilt that's in the business center hanging on the wall, Tricia Perry did it. And what she did was when the branch was closing, they asked for people's comments about, you know, what do they love about the branch, and people drew on little squares, you know, they made a comment, some nice, you know, some statement, and some drew pictures or whatever it was, and she made a quilt out of that, and it's just really beautiful.
It really is
a lovely addition.
Yes.
So that's made the space very special, I thought. So, but the downstairs
agree.
also is incredible. And I think the downstairs is going to be used in such a better way now, for both the library as well as the other, you know, the other departments that are sharing the space. So that's a huge plus.
It is really. It's really several very usable spaces, and one of which still allows for a larger group, which I think is great too. Okay. Next we have the Poet Laureate update. So trustees Ryan and Donahue, if you'd like to fill us in on how that's going.
I'll
Okay.
go first, Nancy. I think it's going very well. We met, we've been emailing. The document is just about ready to be, you know, publicized in the newspaper, on Westwood Minute, on the website. And it's the application process we've tried to keep very simple. I think we've done a really good job. The committee members everybody has helped, and it should be going out shortly. You'll be seeing things shortly. So the dates, Nancy, are they November 1st, January?
So. Yeah.
January.
The people submitting their
applications.
Yeah.
And by February, we'll have selected the Poet Laureate, and then in turn, the young Poet Laureate will be April, Poetry Month. So Charlotte, do you have anything to add? I mean, you've been so helpful as well.
Sorry, I muted myself. No, I think it was a good meeting. I'm working with Tish Healy, and she's getting everything put in the wire, and working with Westwood Media, and they would like somebody to do a little bit of a blurb or whatever, and so we'll work with that, but that's not as important as the wire was. We needed to get it definitely out for November. Actually, she's expecting to send that out next week, so it'll be out well before November 1st. So hopefully get the applicants.
Yep. Darlene Cancel from the Westwood Minute was very happy to, you know, publicize this as well. And Nancy, you're going to do something for the newspaper, and
Yes.
Christy is doing something on, I don't know, Facebook or one of those things.
Yes.
So it's very
We're going to
exciting.
have something on the website as well.
Yes.
So, and the town will probably have something on their website.
Could you just
Trustee
go over?
Fitzgerald? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Paul.
And I, you know, we can report back, obviously, to the 21st Century Foundation, because they have an interest in this. And again,
Yes.
we thank them for providing the stipend for the Poet Laureate.
Yeah, that's written down. So
Yes.
Is that,
And trustee, go
Cultural
ahead, trustee Persons?
two questions, is that on the actual, is the document that you're referring to, the actual application? Is that what you meant by the document?
The application says that the stipend, the $500 stipend is from the 21st Century Club, I believe. It's the,
Okay.
it's the donation of the 21st Century Club.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
just 21st Century Fund.
Fund.
But,
Fund, that's what I meant.
okay, thank you. And then, but so what you produced as a result of your meetings was the application, and that will be publicized by November 1st. That's the date you said? November 1st?
It's actually not an application. It's more like a statement,
Yeah.
which is what the
Oh.
expectations are. And the expectations are that they submit a CV, no longer than 10 pages, I think. Was that what it was?
Wow,
And a list of all their publications in the
Okay.
past,
okay.
and a cover letter,
Yes,
I believe. Is that was right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's the submittal of their work should be.
Oh, and their work, right,
like
up to
between
5,
yeah.
right,
Up to 5 samples.
Mhm.
right.
Good.
And then
Trustee
January,
Fitzgerald, I'm sorry.
Well,
Trustee Persons.
I'm just trying to get the dates down, just so I make sure I get this right. So you're gonna select by February, then what was January?
We were going to meet and select and announce in February.
Oh, okay.
So in January, you're reviewing the applications and making a selection and announcing it in February.
Gotcha. Thank you.
But
Okay.
I had written to Karen Moriarty, he's a high school English teacher, and but he hadn't gotten back to me because I want to be able to send this out to all of you to see. I have a question though. Before it goes to publication of anything, does it go to Chris Coleman first or the planning board? Because don't they have to okay?
The planning board, no, you should just advise the Board of Selectmen
Selectmen, yeah.
to keep them involved, obviously advise as to what's going on, because at the end of the day, I think it's a selectman's appointment as to who the board
Okay,
was.
that's who I meant. I get those mixed up. Okay.
Yeah.
When I talked to Tish Healy, I did send her the draft of that document so she could see what it was. And yes, they will be, the select board will be involved. And I believe that the document might be hosted might be, posted to the town's website. It might not be on the library's website. That's still something that we're working on. The next meeting of the committee is December 13th.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay. Anything else
Nope.
on that? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Friends of the Library, Trustee Ryan and Trustee Donahue. Anything to report for update for the Friends of the Library?
Well, actually, they were meeting this evening, which is too bad that they meet the
Okay.
same time as we do.
And
because can't
we did
go.
talk about that. Yeah, I know. And I did, as you saw in the notes, I did speak to Tina, and going forward, I think these two meetings, they couldn't really change themselves, and ours is a week later than it usually would be, but they had the same problem with the holidays, and their book sale is coming up November 5th.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that was kind of an important meeting for them tonight. So hopefully in the future, we'll have meetings different days. She was very amenable to that change going forward from this month. Okay. So we'll, maybe if you hear things, if there's something you'd like to let us know, you could
Sure.
send us something informative, or we can talk about it in November.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought maybe I could email her and say if there's anything that she wants to share with Nancy.
Okay.
And I didn't know what else to do.
If you-
Trustee Fitzgerald?
I would suggest that you do that, you have Charlotte do that so that there's not a serial
Yes.
communication.
I was just going to say that. So if there were anything that particularly probably about the book sale would be if there's something she wants the trustees to be aware of. She could let us know through Charlotte, because it's appropriate for her to be able to make some kind of an announcement to all of us rather than informally.
An informative, yeah,
Yeah.
an informative email that
Thank you.
would not be a serial conversation.
All right.
I've
Did everyone
been,
hear that? You're cutting out a little bit, Paul. So that was an informative email. That wouldn't be a serial conversation.
Right.
Thank you.
I've been, they've been emailing, I'm on their email list.
Okay.
And they've been talking a lot about the book sale. They needed to know exactly how to publicize it, what to come up with and everything. And I didn't actually contribute to that because I didn't really know. And none of the staff really were involved, apparently, besides Lizzie. So we will have flyers in the library, and we will put something on our website and on our Facebook page. But other than that, they will be responsible for the rest of the publicity.
Yes, and they're very good at it. Actually, they really have some good marketing people in their team, so I'm sure they will be getting the word out. Okay, so the next thing is approval of acceptances and expenditures for September and October. And thank you, Charlotte, for working with Terry and getting this all straightened out.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to tell you, she felt terrible. She felt terrible. She said this is the first time in I don't know how many years that she's submitted them, and what she just basically put it in twice. That was one of the differences that you got last month, was that they were repeated. But other than that, the rest of the documents looked exactly the way the other one looked exactly the way it normally looks. And so tonight you have two, the September and as you can see, October has many fewer expenditures.
Yes.
Madam Chairman?
Right.
Question?
Yes.
I move
Trustee.
to accept the expenditures and acceptances for the month of September and October as detailed on the report submitted by the library director.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second,
Trustee Donahue. Thank you. And we'll take a vote. Trustee Ryan,
Aye.
Trustee Donahue,
aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Trustee Persons,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye for a unanimous vote regarding the acceptances and expenditures. Okay, and thank Terry for her efforts in reconciling that. Okay, oops. All right, new business. Trustee Fitzgerald.
If you have not had the opportunity already, Madam Chairperson, I would ask that on behalf of the trustees, you extend our congratulations to Library Director McGovern on and future patron Beckett, and congratulations. And we hope we wish them all well and look forward to seeing Lizzie back soon.
That's very nice. Thank you very much, Trustee Fitzgerald. Okay, no other business. Okay, public participation tonight.
Could I just
Yes.
make a comment that I did write in my report that Matthew Radulski would be starting as he's receiving a stipend to do the work in the archives.
Okay.
And he's
Okay.
accepted that, and he will be starting on Friday. We had to work with the town because he's a kind of a contracted employee rather than an employee. So I wanted to let you know that is moving forward too. He'll be paid in three installments.
Okay. Trustee Persons?
I'm sorry, I missed that in your write-up somewhere. What was that?
Did I not include that? We just worked with that last week.
Matthew who?
Matthew Radulski, and he is a student at Simmons, and he's working closely. He has been working with the Concord collection, their historic collection, for
Okay.
about a year. And he will be working 90 hours between now and the middle of January. I thought I had it in the report, but maybe.
Well, let's just go to that. You talked about,
What was that? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know I have it here.
Maybe I, 21st century, is it under there? Maybe I didn't add it because it
So
wasn't.
I know you talked about interviewing.
Yes.
And,
So we have,
and working on it.
What do you-
Yes.
so-
We interviewed two interested archivists.
Okay,
And we chose one, and he
Okay.
was really, really capable, and Abby and I were so excited about him. We wanted to let him know that he was our choice, even when the town was going through trying to decide how he was going to be paid and everything else. So we were able to, that was just finalized as far as I know today.
so that's the part-time position on the archival project, which was finalized today and starts today.
and
For
No,
90.
he'll be in Friday.
if-
Okay,
and
Trustee-
I believe we authorized that from state funds, correct?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
If you
Yes,
check
okay.
the prior meeting, we did
Yeah.
authorize that, yeah.
we did, yes, okay. And I had one question, Charlotte, you included in our documents for the approval of the Board of Trustees.
oh,
um,
right,
For Caitlin Moore. And
Right.
it wasn't on the agenda, but I'm assuming that you would want that under new business.
right.
So did everyone have a chance to look at that? I can read that. Caitlin Moore began work as a children's assistant at the library in 2018, was promoted to professional position of children's librarian on August 2nd, 2021. According to the town of Westwood personnel policies, after 1 year of employment as a professional librarian and with the consent of the Library Board of Trustees, Ms. Moore's vacation accrual changes to 4 weeks effective August 2nd, 2022. I'm requesting approval from the board at their meeting October 17th, 2022, retroactive to August 2nd, 2022. Submitted Charlotte Kennelly. And Molly Keene has received in HR a copy of this upon approval. So not sure, do we,
I move that pursuant to the letter that Caitlin Moore, our vacation accrual changes to 4 weeks effective August 2nd, 2022, consistent with the town's personnel policies as reviewed by HR at the town's human resources.
okay, and a second on that motion?
Second,
Thank you, Trustee Donahue, and we'll take a vote. Trustee Ryan,
Aye.
Trustee Donahue,
aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Trustee Persons,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Unanimous vote in regards to that change. Okay, so I think that about takes care of that. And I don't see that we have any public in the meeting tonight. So we would certainly invite their comment or question if they were there. So given that, our next meeting will be Monday, November 14th at 7 p.m. And anyone else have anything? So we can adjourn at this point. I'm sorry, did someone
Adjourn? Move to adjourn?
move to adjourn? And a second
Second,
and a vote? Trustee Ryan,
Aye.
Trustee Donahue,
aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Trustee Persons,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Enjoy the rest of these nice fall days and have a nice Halloween, and we'll see you in November.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.